Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Hello and welcome to I Talk to Ghosts. I'm your spirited host, Jennifer, a professional medium and a teller of ghost stories. Dear guest, tonight let's reimagine the term Holy Ghost, since I will be sharing with you tales of haunted churches. Then join me at my seance table for a message from the spirits. I open up the space to call a spirit close and connect them with someone who's listening to the podcast. This will be a very personal message if it's for you. So see if it is this evening. Join me at my seance table. That's later on in the podcast. But first, put on your Sunday best. We're going to church to meet the ghosts right now. Years ago, one of my best friends took comfort in going to a small local chapel to pray on their own. Sometimes I would accompany her while she did this. I wouldn't pray, but I would bring a book with me to read quietly in the back until she was done. I was just as happy to be out of the house, and this church, really more of a small chapel, always felt welcoming. Her family had lived nearby for generations. Her great-grandfather was buried in the cemetery beside the church. One afternoon, I forgot my book. Instead of leaving, I sat across the aisle from her and kind of just gazed at the altar. I started daydreaming, and I pondered about the alcove on the wall that now held a statue that seemed out of place. It was too small for this alcove and didn't look like it belonged there. I must have drifted because at some point I noticed the chapel had gone silent. No creaking wood, no whisper of my friend's prayers. I looked up and that little statue was gone. In its place stood a carved figure of the angel Gabriel, wings spread, sword raised, same style as the Mary statue across the aisle, but I had never seen this one before. I stood to get a better look, and then I turned around. The chapel was no longer empty. The pews were different and filled with people, faded, almost colorless, but solid enough to make out. A woman in the front wore a dress with puffed sleeves and a hat pulled over soft curls. An older woman beside her wore a veil. A few children sat nearby. The woman in the front looked straight at me, startled. I quickly left for the door. As I reached the entrance, sound returned, the murmur of my friend's voice picking up mid-sentence, as if it had never stopped. Later, after my fear and confusion faded, I sketched what I saw. My friend's grandmother recognized it immediately. The statue, the pew arrangement. She said everything I drew was just the way they had been, more than 50 years ago. I've always loved scary stories. The spookier, the better. Halloween is my favorite holiday, and I love talking about ghosts. The weirder, the darker, the better. Even after what happened, I still find it all very interesting. I just hadn't expected it to happen to me. When I was 16, part of our high school had burned down. Surprisingly, that isn't the scary part of the story. Because of the fire, some of our classes were moved to the basement of a nearby church. This wasn't totally unfamiliar. We were a Christian high school and we had worshiped there before, but having class there every day was different. The first time I walked through the church's basement, I felt something. I tried to brush it off. Down in the basement, the girls' and the boys' restrooms were close to each other. They were both located down a narrow, dark hallway. You could barely fit two people in that passageway side by side. It was dark and cramped. It was creepy. Again, this is truly not the scary part. At the end of the basement hallway was a staircase that led to the altar above and the door to the girls' restroom. And that bathroom, it was weird. A half-completed bathroom with just shower curtains instead of stall doors, 3 sinks, mirrors, and these 3 makeshift stalls. I never went into this bathroom alone. The room felt too still, heavy, like someone was already in there, watching. One day, my friend and I went in before class. We were just chatting casually when we entered, and we heard someone in the middle stall. It sounded like crying. We figured someone was having a rough day, no reason to bother them or get into their business, so we kept talking quietly by the mirrors, checking our hair. Not soon after, another girl from a different class came in, looking for her friend. She started checking the stalls, and when she reached for the middle one, we both said, "Someone's in there," but it was too late. She had already opened the curtain, and no one was inside. I didn't ask questions. My heart felt tight, my eyes started to sting, and my whole body kicked into high alert. My friend looked at me, and I could tell she felt it too. We quickly left, didn't say a word, just ran. It felt like it happened in a blink, but somehow this stayed with me all day. I told another friend later, and she didn't really believe me until something happened to her in that same church basement bathroom. Every Thursday night, my dad attended an AA meeting in the crumbling old church a few blocks from our house. To support him, I showed up about an hour early to prepare the space. I'd prop open the heavy front doors, flip on the brittle light switches, start the coffee, lay out pamphlets, and arrange the chairs in a circle. The church always felt off to me, not in the way that horror movies train you to expect. No cold gusts, no flickering lights, just a kind of pressure, like the building didn't want you inside of it. The walls were too thick, the corners of the room too dark. The place had shadows that didn't seem to care that the place was supposed to be well lit. The church had been around for more than a century. Parts of it were clearly original, worn stone archways, sunken wooden floors, but someone at some point had tried to modernize it. There was this linoleum on the basement steps. It was a sickly, speckled beige, like boiled skin slapped over old concrete. It peeled at the edges, curling up like it was trying to flake away. One Thursday evening in late autumn, I went through my setup ritual. Doors open, lights on, coffee plugged in. As usual, I was alone. This place amplified every teeny sound. My footsteps echoed too long. The metal legs of the chairs shrieked if I dragged them even slightly. I just started arranging these chairs when I heard the unmistakable sound of footsteps behind me. Deliberate, soft, not echoing like mine. I turned. An older woman had come in, white hair, a faded gray dress with roses on it, glasses perched on the edge of her nose. She didn't look at me. She just walked slowly, almost hesitantly, towards the coffee maker. "It's not ready yet," I told her. "I just plugged it in." She didn't respond. I looked away for maybe 2 seconds to finish lining up one of the chairs, and when I turned back, she was gone. I didn't hear her footsteps leave. There was no rustling of clothing, no movement at all. She just wasn't there anymore. The room was silent, like the whole room was holding its breath. This was a large open space. There was nowhere she could have gone, not without me seeing her, not without me hearing her. There hadn't been enough time for her to leave my sight. And I knew I was the only one in this church. The air had that same stillness, that same feeling I always had while in there. Again, like the building was holding its breath, and it wanted me to leave. I sat in one of the chairs, facing the doorway she had never passed through, and waited. My nervous system buzzed. The minutes dragged by. When the first person arrived for the meeting, I nearly jumped out of my skin. Later, someone told me a woman had passed away during a service in church not long ago. They didn't give details, and I didn't ask. Even now, when I think about that evening, the fear has faded, but the whole thing feels displaced, like I had brushed up against something that wasn't supposed to be seen, and now it knows. I saw it.
I think you're on mute.
Workday's starting to sound the same.
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
Hello and welcome back to I Talk to Ghosts. Tonight I have a message from the spirits, so thank you for joining me in the candlelight. Tonight as I work, I have with me blue kyanite. Blue kyanite automatically aligns all of your chakras. It's great for energy work. It's wonderful at balancing out feminine and masculine energies. It's wonderful to help cultivate expanded awareness, and it also energetically encourages you to persevere through challenges. So that is blue kyanite. Okay, I'm opening up the space. Immediately as I was talking, I felt this man step into my presence, and he has this lawyer-like feeling to him, not in a bad way, in a evenly moral way. And yes, he is saying he did like to argue, but he has this sense of, like a moral compass about him, a good one. And I see him with glasses and thoughtful. Yeah, he probably was a lawyer or worked in the legal field. Definitely professional. And it mattered to him. He always tried to do the right thing. He's saying he didn't always eat the right thing. Clearly, he has a little bit of a sense of humor. He's showing me kind of like a pale complexion. I wonder if he had, it feels like blood pressure and then later diabetes. He's showing me now playing cards. He loved the camaraderie about it, as well as the logistics and the strategy. This feels like a friend of yours that you would hang out together. It feels like cards. It feels like other games sometimes. I'm seeing a controller, game controller. Quirky socks. He's showing me quirky socks. Like that was his little inside joke. You know, he would wear a gray suit, but his socks. Colorful. And sometimes funny. Okay, his message for you. He says you're too serious. You think things into the ground. And gosh, it must drive you crazy. He's like, could you notice how exhausting that is for you? And find distractions. He is suggesting reading, but I know how hard it can be to immerse yourself in a book when your brain won't be quiet. I wonder if you like to run, or if you know running is good for you. It's like exhaust yourself in some manner. Bike riding, even walking. You gotta do things that distract you from your brain, just so you can equalize a bit. Allow yourself to break that chain of thought that you always have. And he says you're a dork. So I'm just going to pass that along. All right. I'm going to leave it at that. If this message connects for you, and I hope it does, please reach out because I love to know. Thank you.
Are you enjoying the podcast? Please leave a kind review or share it with a friend. These small actions take only a few moments, but they immensely help support the podcast. Thank you for supporting my work and the podcast. And with that, dear listener, we have reached the end of this episode of I Talk to Ghosts. I hope you've enjoyed my spirit work that I shared with you this evening, as well as those tales of haunted churches. Have you ever had a paranormal experience while at church? I would love to hear your story, so please reach out. In the meantime, wherever you wander off to, in this world or the next, just remember, come back and visit with me. Have a lovely evening and good night.
Stories have always been at the heart of who we are. Across every culture, humanity has passed down tales to share truth, to make sense of the unthinkable, to remember what must not be forgotten. At Macabrium, we continue that tradition. I'm your host, Derek, and every Sunday I bring you the segment Lore and Legends, covering dark oral histories, myths, and folklore told through captivating narrative storytelling. I give you the history, context, and cultural significance of the topic before diving right into an original narrative steeped faithfully in the tradition that inspired and often continues to inspire it. So, from tales firmly rooted in the supernatural on Sundays to meticulously researched true crime on our Tuesday segment, Macabrium delivers thoughtful, engaging episodes that keep you hooked until the very end. Follow Macabrium on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. I'll see you there.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.